Hello and happy November, everyone, here at the Morphin Network. I'm Mike, your host for the Rider Time podcast, and we are here to discuss the one and only Bakuage Sentai Boonboomger, episode 35, the Blue Champion. That's right. This is an episode that focuses on the LA Dodgers. I'm just kidding. But for real, though, LA Dodgers, congratulations on winning the World Series. I know everyone went totally nuts about this. Everyone at the Morphin Squad was just like watching the games with, their butts on the edge of their seats. I know that both Ryan and Jen were both at the parade. Hope you guys had a great time. Me, I'm busy at work. It is what it is. But yeah, what did you guys think of the game? But more importantly, what did you think about this quarter season finale? Well, I'm gonna be honest, it was okay. It's not bad. I'm just disappointed that it could have been better. What could have it done to be better? Honestly, not really much of anything. It's just more like, I don't know. It's like this season was so good up to this point. I was kind of expecting more from it. That's the real problem. I was expecting more from it. Now, yeah, so where we last left off in the previous episode, it is revealed that Boondario, it was originally a member of the Hashirians, and Boon Diesel just quit the team because he felt incredibly betrayed. And yes, we finally got our first look at Wairudo Spindo, which is based on the name Wild Spin or Wild Speed, which is the Japanese localized name for the Fast and Furious franchise. By the way, fun fact. In Russian and Ukrainian, the Fast and Furious franchise is called Forsage. I don't know what that word means, but it's also the name of a bar in my hometown. So I guess, yeah. So the entire first half of this episode is literally just Boondario just explaining what happened. Tale as old as time. He was a mechanic for Boon Diesel's team. He got parts from a fan. Turns out those parts were illegal, so the World Court decided to strip him of his BBG certification, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, and while he was in a really bad place mentally, he met up with Warudo, and he's like, see, you're a great mechanic. I like you. We could do stuff together. Come walk with me. Talk with me, baby. And, of course, it's then revealed that, that fan that sent those parts was actually working for Warudo because he wanted to set him up so that he would be a disgrace, not to be confused with disgrace. And of course, then they would just end up working together as criminals. And that's how, and it's thanks to technology that Boondario invented that allowed the Hashirians to rise up in the criminal underworld. Of course, when Boondario found out what his technology was really used for, he faked his death and has been on the run ever since. Of course, Boon Diesel was overhearing this whole conversation because Sakito was secretly transmitting the conversation through his morpher. Okay. Seems kind of pointless to a certain degree because at that point, Boon Diesel could have just been there. Or heck, what if only Sakito was listening And he tried to tell that information to Boon Diesel, but failed because of something that happened later in this episode. Boondy was quick to forgive him. I'm not surprised. I knew it would only take one episode to resolve this plot, but I wish they took longer, to be honest. But more importantly, I'm surprised how quickly they resolved it in this episode. I was hoping it would be like a thing towards the end of the episode. Like there was an episode of Power Rangers Dino Thunder where everyone finds out that Trent Mercer was secretly hiding the fact that the principal was Elsa, the science teacher was Mesogog, and subsequently Mesogog was his dad. So they spent a whole episode contemplating whether or not Trent could be trusted. But then towards the end of the episode, he proved himself to be reliable. I wish we had that kind of formula. You know what I'm saying? But of course, Boon Diesel gets kidnapped by the Hashirians, weirdly enough. And somehow they succeed in kidnapping him. They have him crucified inside a warehouse and everything. But just as quickly, the heroes show up to rescue him, including Bundario. It's like, I'm at the driver's seat, which is great, but this resolution felt a little too clean. It felt way too easy. And of course, like the Hashirians, like the Team Rocket trio, like they were knocked out by Bundario's appearance, and of course, Disrace fires them. And of course, they bow out and quit, and they leave. Okay, Team Rocket quit the Hashirians. Okay, something interesting happening. We don't see them again for the rest of the episode, but Disrace, typical warehouse fight sequence. They use their champion formation, and they use some familiar powers, some less familiar. I have to say, if I had to give the highlight to any ability, I would like to use. I would go with the one where the foot soldiers were firing bolts. I'm sorry, they were firing screws at Ishiro, and then using Off-Road's ability, he's able to summon a bunch of screwdrivers, and then just mirror force their attack back at them. That was the one with my most favorite execution. That was just beautiful. Of course, they're like, oh, we're gonna use our teamwork in order to defeat Disrace, but we haven't forgotten that Gemba's the one who has the vendetta. So Gemba, why don't you finish him off? And of course he does. He becomes giant, and yeah. So now we summon the Boom Boom, champion carrier, and of course we have a new repaint. We have a new repaint of Pat Car 2, which is a Hydrox car. Not sure why it's not a Nitrox car, but H2. Hydrogen, whatever. But so then, it turns into a pair of jet boosters. So it basically astro trains up into space. Yeah, that is clearly a reference to Go-Go 5. I like that reference to Go-Go 5. Kind of makes me wonder why Go-Go 5 didn't get a cameo. It is their 25th anniversary this year. Oh, another Sentai with a 5-year anniversary. That's not being acknowledged. Because look, man, Go-Go 5 and Car Ranger, no, not Car Ranger, Go-Go 5 and Turbo Ranger. Those two could very well have had tribute episodes, but they didn't. Instead, we got Tokuger. Okay, it's Tokuger's 10-year anniversary, whatever. Go Onger, it's not their anniversary, but it's a car themed season, so I gave that a pass. But you have a car themed season that is having an anniversary, so what's with the lack of Turbo Ranger references? And now that I'm thinking about it, why is there no Go-Go 5? Heck, you could even have Deca Ranger if not for the fact that Deca Ranger is way overdone. Let's see. Then there's Shinkenger. No, thank you. There's like no thematic commonality to that. Let's see. We already talked about Tokyuger. Thank God. Ryu Soldier's not involved because, again, we don't need any more dinosaurs. But with that in mind, yeah. So they go off into space. They turn into the champion Boom Boom Robo, which honestly looks okay. It's he just gets shoulder pads, a helmet, boots, and this weird thing on his abdomen that becomes a crotch guard. I don't get that part. So I'm gonna have to honestly say I really prefer Boom Boom Robo 119 over Boom Boom Robo Champion because honestly, the only thing I care about it is the fact that you have like all 5 main Boonboomger wheels up in the front. But I was expecting kind of more from this. But this may not be the end because for all we know, there is a chance somehow this formation could still combine with Boon Diesel and several other Boom Boom cars. Who knows? There might be like a super Ultra Zord coming our way in the future. Hopefully, don't have my hopes up. It looks like it has just about as many ports as Fire does, maybe 2 additional ports. But that's pretty much it, man. It's like I was hoping for more. And it's kind of weird how we don't even get a second Robo. And I don't mean like a 6-Ranger Robo. I mean like a proper second Robo. Like just to give a few examples, like O Blocker, VRV Master, Mega Voyager, let's see, Rescue Mars, what's it called? Gal Muscle. Man, Gal Muscle showed up really early into the series. Let's see. What were some more? Nope. Deca SWAT. The what's it called? Magi Legends one. Let's see. Ultimate Dive Voyager. Geki Master. Super Geki Fire. Yeah, so there could have been a decent, so like like the second Robo that the main team gets. I was hoping for that, but instead it's just more armor. And here's me hoping that I hope that even Champion could fuse with 119, but I don't have my hopes up. So so the Hydrox card turns into twin cannons on the shoulders, destroys this race. That's pretty much it. And of course, now that he's destroyed, that means Gamba wants to assume the title of the king of Planet Breaky so that he could officially sponsor Team Boonboomgers at the BBG. And that's pretty much it. Oh, yeah. And Boon Diesel and Boondario like make amends. There's really not much to say about that specifically, but so that's literally the whole film. Oh, that's literally the whole episode. There's really not much to say. Mecha design is mid. I honestly I only like the wheels thing. I mean, I like that there's like the longer shoulders for like 2 more car slots, but I was hoping there would be at least like some kind of chest armor aspects, because in every form thus far, Boom Boom Robo has the same chest. There's no additional armor on top of that. And there's very little in the way of stacking or anything. And look, I'm not a fan of cluster Fs like the Ultimate Shinkeno Dio, whatever it's called, the one with all 11 origami combined. It's just, I was hoping for something grandiose. Boom Boom Champion just feels interchangeable with Boom Boom on 119. And also, we only have one arc left, and we have 6 cars that we still haven't seen yet, because in the sponsor bumper we see there's 16 cars in total, and we've only seen 10 of them. What are these 6 other cars? Like, obviously, I obviously know that one's like a mixer, one's a dump truck, one's an electric vehicle for some reason, one's a medical car, which is kind of cool. But yeah, there's like, what will these 6 cars even do? Did they even come out as, as candy toys or gashapon? Like, what would their role be? It feels kind of weird that like you're showing off these Zords in your bumper since day one, and 35 episodes in, we still haven't seen them. I don't know. This episode's an 8 for me. I wish there was more to say, but I feel like nothing really interesting happened in this episode. It's like even the whole Boondario was sabotaged by a fake fan, and turns out he was set up so he could team up with Waruido. Like, we already had enough material to infer with that from the show up to this point. It seems like this whole episode could have been just covered in 5 minutes, and then just further discuss other important things. And again, like the whole is Boondario traitor thing, it only took up the first 8 minutes of a 24-minute episode. It only took up a third of screen time. That's kind of disappointing. And again, with Trent Mercer, it took them a whole episode. And in the past, they had reasons to not trust him. There was more reason to not trust him earlier on. But here, it's like, when has Boondario done anything to give you any reason to believe that he's not trustworthy? Even if he was a former member of the Hashirians, surely his track record from the past year could have been something to, say, hey, I don't believe that he's evil, even though he worked with the bad guys. But with that in mind, given that the Hashirian Team Rocket trio now fired, I really hope that this means that they're going to try to babyface turn in this final 15-ish episodes. And it'll take Boondario to convince them, like, hey, guys, I used to be a Hashirian too, but I turned my life around. Maybe they can too. I doubt it, but who knows? He might surprise me. It just feels weird that in this last, we're so close to the end of the season. It was so good up to this point. You choose now to just kind of ruin the momentum, really. But, let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What do you think will happen in the next arc? And also, quick thing. This arc as a whole, 8.5 out of 10. It had a lot of great ideas. I just feel like, certain things needed to be shifted around in how they're executed. And as cool as it was to reveal that Gemba was an alien, he needed some away time. I feel like they could have done a more compelling job at this. But throwing in the whole Boondario being a former Hashirian into the mix this late into the arc, that could have been that. It just felt clumsy. Like if they revealed it like at least 2 or 3 episodes sooner, then we have something more interesting to work with because you could have had some heart to heart moments between Genba and Bundario because one had his life screwed over by the Hashirians while the other is a former member. It's like you were one of my villains. You were right under my nose, and like freaking, you betrayed me and whatnot. I mean, not that melodramatic, but you get the point. Honestly, the second half of this episode is lackluster. Felt like another regular episode. Yeah, exactly. I'm curious what happens next with Team Rocket now that they are fired. I mean, I stand by what I said. Like, I hope they babyface turn, but maybe now Boondario could give a good word in for their babyface turn. I'm not gonna lie though, now that I've seen all of Kyoruger, Candelaria, and Lakiryu babyface turning felt clumsy as well to some extent. I did like the fact that she did vibe with Nobuharu because he is a real Chad. But I just hate that it took, the Chevalier of Sorrow to die in order for her to realize, yeah, maybe I should have been a baby face this whole time. How do you suppose Gokaiger will tie into the final arc? Okay, so yeah, when they showed posters for the final arc, they did they did show the Gokaiger flag. Honestly, I don't know. I doubt the Gokaigers will be directly involved in the Big Bang Grand Prix unless there's some kind of promise of a grand treasure. But even then, it's like, what's really going to happen? What? Okay. I actually have a better idea of how like they could play out. Okay, either Luca or Dawn will show up and help them tune up their cars to a certain degree because you have like an actual race car and a trailer as their vehicles, so like somehow that could tie into the 2 of the 6 remaining vehicles. Again, with like 13 to 15 episodes left, I don't know how they're going to tie in those 6 vehicles. Maybe they'll obtain them throughout the BBG, but I just hope they don't pull a ghost. It's like, oh, you randomly unlocked 6 new Ranger powers. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. But I will say this. If Marvelous or Ahime does show up, then I'll find it incredibly ironic that 2 out of the 3 seasons that came back in Boonboomger had their actors actually come to Power Morphicon. That would have been such an amazing opportunity, but it is what it is. Now it's just good. Like if Ahime or Marvelous do show up, then it will just feel weird that Tokyo Ichigo just did not show up at Power Morphicon because it's like the odd man out sort of thing. But that's my thought. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. And be sure to share our videos because it helps us out with the algorithm. We do Ultraman Arc on Mondays, Kamen Rider Gav on Wednesdays, Bakuage Sentai Boonboomger on Thursdays, and Kamen Rider Gaim on Sundays. Also, check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we just reviewed Wes Craven's New Nightmare in honor of Halloween, and also the fact that it is the 30th anniversary of that film, as well as the 40th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street, the original film. Classic film. And also, if you want to follow my personal content, you could find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. With all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you've had a wonderful Halloween and a fantastic Dia de los Muertos. Be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits on your loved ones. See you all next time. Goodbye.